Um, Last but certainly not least for our lineup is Matthew Taylor. Matt, how is this, maybe it's too early to really to say how the science is comparing with that from the Rosetta orbiter, but perhaps you'd like to give us a bit of an overview of how it's going to compare with the data that we collect from the orbiter.
Okay, the shirt I wore this week, I made a big mistake and I offended many people, and I'm very sorry about this. I've just come over from the MCR. I was there with my colleagues here. We've been trying to shift and rearrange things, as Holger was alluding to. We're trying to find the lander, and thanks to some good relationships here, we were able to shift priorities, because we have certain priorities. Everything's on the rails. I've always said this. It's very difficult to fly around a comet. These guys know. We have to do things in advance. We plan ahead. And we wanted to shift things a little bit around in terms of what we're downloading. So we're trying our best to give the Osiris team the data they need to allow us to find the lander. In terms of science being done, yeah, again, I keep on using the word cusp. We're on the cusp of doing stuff. We're on the front line. I've got a picture in my pocket. I felt it's buzzing all the time. Colleagues from the LCC, we have the MUPAS team hunkered over their laptops looking at what happened, what was going on last night. It's fantastic. We're on the cutting edge of science. Science is being done. We haven't got any results yet, but you know, just wait and hang in there. The drill's going down. This is going to be fantastic. Put something in, get COSAC going. It's going to be wonderful. So I'm just waiting for the next acquisition of Sentinel. Let's see if we get that next bit of data. We've already got fantastic data. I still haven't contacted my colleagues on the lander about the magnetic field. You may have known or may have heard, I'm really keen to find out about the magnetic profiles that we've seen of the plasma around the comet. And we've got these 3 points because we skimmed across this comet. Who knows where we are? Maybe we're in a hole. This is a golf match, maybe. This was a hole in one we've got, and we've got the magnetic trajectory as well. So stay tuned, but it's beyond words. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
So, on March 2nd, 2004, the European Space Agency lost the Rosetta space probe, destination Comet 67P, which is over 300 million miles from Earth and travels at speeds upwards of 135,000 kilometers per hour. On August 6, 2014, over 10 years after traveling through space, the Rosetta satellite enters orbit around Comet 67P. On November 12, 2014, the lander Philae, however you pronounce it, made a controlled touchdown on the Comet 67P. The landing wasn't perfect and a little bumpy, but it was successful. It is the first time in history that humankind has successfully landed a probe on a comet. On November 12, 2014, the sluns of the internet threw their hands up in the air in protest. They are not protesting the cost of the mission or the mission itself. No, they are protesting a single scientist, Dr. Matt Taylor, because of the shirt he chose to wear to the landing event. A shirt, mind you, that was designed and handmade by a woman for him for his birthday. That doesn't matter, apparently, as it didn't stop the social justice advocates from taking to the social media to bully Dr. Taylor, the ESA, and the Rosetta Project as a whole. The shirt, they say, is both offensive and sexist. It is the reason women do not want to enter the STEM field. Chris Plant, writing for The Verge, says, I don't care if you landed a spacecraft on a comet. Your shirt is sexist and ostracizing. And that's one small step for man, three steps back for humankind. That's fucking terrible. Rose Evlith, I think I got that name right, of The Atlantic, tweeted, No, women are totally welcome in our community. Just ask the dude in this shirt, in reference to Dr. Taylor. On The Guardian, Alice Bell wrote, the ESA can land a robot on a comet, but they still can't see the misogyny under their nose, implying t-shirts equal misogyny, apparently. The Rosetta Project is a wondrous feat for humankind. Over 2,000 men and women from all over the world helped make the project successful. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, feats for space exploration in the last 25 years. It's an amazing achievement of technology, science, and humankind's tenacity. Something truly fucking incredible was accomplished, something that will help humankind grow technologically and intellectually. Instead of focusing on the good, on the accomplishment, the social justice types took to their megaphones to scream about sexism they created within their heads. It's what they always do, and it's always fucking asinine. Doing anything in space is really fucking hard. These people are working on scales and with numbers that our human brains cannot comprehend. Yet they found a way to be successful, a way to help advance humankind. It's truly fucking amazing. To diminish it down to one scientist t-shirt is to diminish the incredible, hard, and brilliant work the entire team put into the Rosetta project. To those bitching about his t-shirt, fucking stop. Helping to advance the understanding of humans helping to advance the understanding humans have of space is far beyond anything you've made this stupid t-shirt out to be. If your honest goal is to advance women in STEM, maybe you should stop telling them and everyone else that you're too sensitive and fragile to deal with something as small and inconsequential as a goddamn t-shirt. To Matt Taylor and the whole Rosetta team, thank you. The vast majority of us out here understand your accomplishment, and we understand how important your achievement is to the greater understanding of space and ultimately our origins. And remember, in nearly all instances, a shirt is just a fucking shirt. And I am really fucking pissed. This shit pisses me off beyond belief.
As it should.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I was gonna do a joke read, another joke ad tonight, but since all this stuff dropped, we're actually gonna do a real supportive jump for the person who actually created this shirt. The person who created this shirt was a woman by the name of Ellie Prizeman. She works at Eternal Art Essex, which is a tattoo parlor in Essex, in the UK, and she designed this shirt custom for Matt. And she has actually posted a blog post on how to get in contact with her if you're interested. It's Ellie Prizeman, that's ELLYPRIZEMAN, update at blogspot.co.uk. And go there, go support her, give her some kind words, whatever you want to do. Just support her, because I like that. I will say this, I actually like that shirt. That was a pretty damn cool shirt.
The shirt was awesome. And they keep saying, how dare you wear a naked woman on your shirt to fucking launch event? She wasn't fucking naked. The woman on the shirt wasn't naked. Yeah, she had a corset on. Yeah, she had a bikini on, but she wasn't naked. She was fucking clothed.
I think just to piss them off, if I ever get on TV, I'm gonna wear a shirt just covered in vaginas. I don't. And that's the thing.
Go ahead.
If they had a dress code and they said no, this isn't professional or whatever, I would totally sit with that. That'd be fine. Because NASA, they have their codes. You got to wear like a polo shirt and stuff like that. But the ESA never said they did.
No.
So it wasn't company policy, nothing.
But nor should it be. I mean, think about it. So here's a fucking a hunk of rock, traveling through space at 135,000 kilometers an hour, right? Over 300 million miles away, and you are about to land on it. Should the ESA really be fucking dictating what you wear? I mean, the technological and the scientific feat is beyond comprehension. A fucking shirt doesn't matter. A dress code doesn't matter. If a scientist wants to be the project lead like Dr. Taylor was, and wants to wear his fucking sweatpants to that event, he should be able to wear his fucking sweatpants to that event. Am I wrong?
No. Not at all. Like, they never expressed anything like sort of dress code or anything like that. If they had a dress code, whatever. Just abide by it. But yeah, I like what Patton said in there. I just bought my "This is what a feminist looks like" shirt. Got to support slavery of women in third world countries. Yeah, this is something to stress. This shirt was not just something he bought off of the fucking rack. This was actually a shirt that someone made for him with their own time and their own effort. And I actually think he got tattooed by the same parlor when the lander actually landed on the comet.
Yeah, he was getting a tattoo. It's just
You
a
got
waste of people's time. That's right. It is just a waste of people's time. We're
totally.
It's not what we should be talking about. And and fucking Chris Plant is like up in arms and like disgusted that he would wear that shirt. And he has the fucking balls to say it doesn't matter that you landed a spacecraft on a comet. It's not my fault Chris Plant's too fucking stupid to figure out how to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's hard and it's a ginormous fucking achievement and I will say that until I'm blue in the face. Right? It's probably the biggest achievement we've had in space exploration in the past 25 years, right? Maybe even longer, maybe since the moon landing. You know what I mean? And to diminish it
Yeah.
down to somebody's fucking t-shirt.
You know what I found quite amusing is that the same people that play Cards Against Humanity and things like that were, coming up in arms against, this shirt, for instance. There's just massive level fucking hypocrisy that's going on. I mean, if you do, where is it here? One second. Go on without me a second. I'm just having a derp technologically.
It's totally
Dude,
fine.
my shit's been derp for the past 2 weeks. You can go ahead and derp yourself.
It's just beyond.
Yes.
It's not even stupid's not even the word, right? I don't even know what it is, but it's not stupid. It's far beyond stupid. It's far beyond asinine. I feel incredibly bad for Dr. Taylor, like incredibly fucking bad that his achievement got turned. I mean, to the point that you saw his apology. The dude was almost in tears over a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean that was everything that was the fervor that came with that was absolutely uncalled for, completely.
Completely. And like I said in that little terribly spoken monologue is if what you're after is saying women are strong, empowered people and they belong in STEM, stop telling the world that they are so weak that they can't handle a t-shirt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you are what if they are what you say they are, it's a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
if you want to be in STEM, stop sticking up artificial barriers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to suggest the t-shirt is why women don't join STEM is fucking asinine. Like my brother said, yep, for the past 40 years, women would not join the STEM field because they knew on November 14th, 2014, some man was going to be wearing a shirt with a half-naked woman on it. And that's why I mean, it's beyond It's, yes, as its business says, it's full Macintosh level of stupidity.
Now,
And
what I think is funny is that one of the books that people in gender studies and studies that are related to feminism all hold up Betty Friedan as kind of gospel because she was one of the first big voices of the second wave movement. She wrote The Feminine Mystique, and that was kind of the basis of all that stuff. And they completely ignored one of the critiques that she did. She did a critique called The Second Something, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a critique of the first wave movement of how it just devolved into man bashing and man hating and things like that.
it
Like
has.
she was a very prolific author when it came to the feminist movement, and they've just ignored her work.
Well, because it doesn't fit their fucking narrative, which is
I genuinely think I was talking with this with Jerry earlier on in the week, and it's like it is literally divide and conquer
Yeah.
now because we're at a stage where some people find it offensive, some people don't give a shit. And I'd rather. I understand how some people could be offended. I'm not, completely ignorant to that fucking, side of it. But I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy has achieved so much, a lot more than some of these people who are criticizing will ever achieve, and it's just like, give it a break, when did we become so offended? When did these people who write shitty, fucking clickbaity articles become the gatekeepers, of fucking just, some of the most just retrograde thinking. You know, it is literally. I mean, the shirt could be considered, a piece of art. It isn't exactly in the taste of something. I know you two guys like it. I'm not. It kind of looks cool. It isn't something that I'd wear. But, it's just the freedom to, the choice to do so. I mean, if you look at some of the outrageous feminist fucking t-shirts that exist these days, and it's not just to bash on fucking feminism because it's,
Boys are stupid, throw rocks at them. Was popular.
Yeah, I thought that. But, going further back, smashing the fucking patriarchy, that campaign, the F-bombs, this is what a feminist looks like, or those are just mild examples. There are a lot fucking worse, that are out there that appear on a t-shirt. And again, it's like your rights end, where I get basically offended. And it just shouldn't be the case. If we really lived in, if someone had to come out and fucking say, I've spent time with the guy, I've worked with the guy, Matt is a decent guy, and from time spent with him, no misogynist. That was Nick Howells, the British astronomer. Somebody else, a New York blogger, technology advances while society remains decidedly retrograde. Now, Katie Mack said, I don't care what scientists wear. Okay, well, you should have stopped there. But a shirt featuring women in lingerie isn't appropriate for broadcast if you care about women in science.
Boy, she should really hardcore go after comic books then. And she should, what she should also be going after? She should also be going out and trying to censor the fucking American-made B-17s with the nose art on them.
Oh God, yeah, you can't have pinups anymore probably in a movie.
No, you can have pinups. They just have to represent women, which means they've got to be fat.
And they've got to have bleedy cunts and free bleeding feminist dykes. I don't fucking these people.
It's just, the thing is, though, they shouldn't be fucking complaining about wardrobe. I mean, okay, so there are times when you complain about wardrobe, right? Like, if I were to go to work, I mean, I work from home, so maybe that's not entirely true. But if I were to go to an office without pants on, okay, I mean, there's not much you're going to see, but it's something to complain about, right? Like, that's...
Dude, you should go home and put pants on.
Yes, exactly.
Stop oppressing your wife, Jesus.
Yeah, I am oppressing her. I don't have an excuse. But to go out of your way to complain about the content of somebody's t-shirt is beyond stupidity.
It is in the face of the achievement.
It really is. It's like, no, don't bother with any scientific achievement. Just look at this guy's fucking shirt. It's ridiculous. Oh, and it's childish. It implies that women are so easily fucking offended that you have to mollycoddle all of them. It's insulting to everyone involved.
It's beyond insulting and everything, at least in my mind, right? Like, as you said. Go ahead.
I wonder if he hadn't been wearing a shirt, whether they'd have commented on the tattoos though at the same time as well.
Probably.
Well, here's the thing. Someone actually, it was Malali Mosin, and I probably fucked that pronunciation up, actually tweeted something out that I thought was very poignant and very kind of intelligent. He said, Taylor's shirt redesigned for more modesty so as to appease feminists. And he took a picture of him and MS painted in burqas over all the women.
Perfect. That's empowering as shit.
It's fucking empowerment right there.
I thought they wanted women to be empowering. I thought they wanted depictions of women. What's the difference if a woman was wearing that t-shirt then?
No, then it's okay. But
yeah.
Do you think do you literally think he put on that shirt in the morning thinking, I'm about to oppress some women?
Fuck no.
No, that's exactly what's going through his mind, obviously, right? Because he's part of the patriarchy.
Just stop and listen. Do you think, or do you think this shirt's badass? That's his own opinion.
Or this is clean.
Yeah, this is clean. I've been up for maybe...
There's no Dorito stains on this one today.
Yeah. I've been up for 32 hours, or 46 or 48, fucking piloting, this motherfucking little, satellite robot thing onto a fucking, a comet. Is that, I'm a bit sweaty. I need to quickly change and say, oh shit, it's my favourite shirt. Didn't expect a shitstorm.
Exactly.
it's not the thinking of these people it's the thinking of people that are busy with something else, that are busy not, literally out there to try and offend or to try, people's tastes.
It's beyond stupid. I mean, one of his good friends made it for him for his birthday, right?
Yeah.
So the most likely scenario is he probably likes this lady. You know what I mean? Like, I'm drawing conclusions that I have no idea about, but let's assume he likes this lady. He says, you know what, I'm gonna take her shirt, and I don't mean like likes, like wants to get in bed with her, but like she's a really good friend. You know what I mean? So he's thinking, hey, I'm gonna take this shirt that she made me, and I'm gonna wear it on TV. It'll give her some exposure. That's probably the most likely scenario. You know what I mean?
I mean, what's also quite interesting is how they've tried desperately to, this is all happening. Everything is fucking getting linked to get back to Gamergate now.
Have they
all-
linked this back to Gamergate?
Well, they're in it. I mean, look at the people that are writing the articles. It's Jezebel again, our best friends, and The Verge. These are people that, the guy who actually, I think, wrote the Verge article was the first one to write about Gamergate at The Verge. So it's just coming full circle. It's literally the start of a war of who is more offended and who isn't. It is literally going to get devolved to that state.
And I think it's the people who are not offended that are going to win. It's just we don't say anything. We have to start speaking out.
Are you sure about that, Joey? Look how political correctness has, devolved over the years. I can understand a lot of the comments, especially in this country at least. I can understand that a lot of the comments where people go, "Oh, it's political correctness gone mad," is actually just a cover for things like racism and stuff like that. I can understand, but I can start. These are the first examples where I've seen that, like, you could actually start using the term political correctness gone mad, in a completely unironic way, because it's freedom of. I mean, is the T-shirt covered under any sort of artistic type thing? It's
probably.
I mean, the thing is, it is political correctness gone mad. And thank God there's been a bunch of websites, one of them being The Telegraph, who actually came out and said, hey, Gama Sutra, or Intel started supported Gama Sutra, Gamergate shit, right? But they had somebody on their website come out and post an article about how it's political correctness gone mad. So I'm glad at least some media is stepping up and going, this is fucked up, guys.
Even if it is Gama Sutra, and Gama Sutra was totally fucking
No, not
wrong.
Gama Sutra. The Telegraph. I'm just saying they were.
It was the Telegraph that said
they've been critical of Gamergate, but they've come out and said this is a little too far for us. Basically. They originally showed the video with the apology, and then where is it? And then they said. Let me just bring up the article here. All I should have been on Rosetta and the Voyage of Comet 67P. Instead, offense hunters were looking at a scientist kinky shirt. Written by Tim Stanley at the moment. Political correctness officially went mad on November the 14th, 2014. Although, to be fair, where is that? While some of us were following... is it Philae's landing on Comet? Philly, something like that.
On Comet 67P with Wanda, others were apparently rather more interested in what the scientists were wearing. It's almost as though they suffer from some ocular defect that makes it impossible to correctly identify wood when looking at the trees. Although, to be fair, trees can be offensively phallic.
Nice.
Where is it? Imagine if these PC fetishists had been around on Twitter when we landed on the moon. One step for man and one giant leap backwards for women. Hashtag sexist pigs. I could imagine that.
Yeah,
I could imagine that in this day and age.
Why are there no women in the mission control room?
I actually think there were women in the mission control room for the moon landing, but I could be wrong.
I don't think there were in the mission control room during that because Everybody who was in there, Krantz ordered the doors locked.
So then, why aren't we applauding more women at the ESA? You know, one of which was actively, reporting on it, another which contributed. Just more women in. Why aren't we focusing on that success?
Well, and here's the other thing. He was so distraught about it. He interrupted a woman in the STEM field, or in at least the journalistic STEM field, kind of asking about the fucking science to make the apology.
Yep.
Which, that was fucking stupid.
Yep. It's just, like I said, I literally feel sad for Dr. Taylor. Like, I can't. Could you imagine being in his position? Right? Here's a multi-billion-dollar project. I don't know how much it costs, but space travel is not cheap. You know what I mean? So most likely a multi-billion-dollar project, and something that no human has ever done before, right? A fucking fantastical technological and scientific achievement, and the internet focuses on your T-shirt. Could you imagine that?
Really shows where feminist priorities are. Really does.
It does, and the priorities aren't on making humans better. And I say that, and I understand not everybody shares my view, but I believe space exploration is vitally important to our existence. So for me, this is huge, and it's deeply troubling, is the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah, they're just at this point digging for things to be offended about. That is all it is.
Yeah. How did Base Mom put it? I forget what she put in her first video, how she identified them, but it was basically that, right? They're offense fishers. Anything they can do or find to be offended about.
I still love the fact that after all this, I actually find an article from CBS Money Watch that was, this is kind of related to women in high-end career fields. I find an article from 2011 by CBS Money Watch that the gender pay gap is a fucking complete myth.
It is.
Yeah. Because if you look at the facts of everything, it's the reason there seems to be one, and because this is just a narrative. This is all a narrative saying women get paid 75 cents to the dollar. The actual thing is men take more dangerous jobs, are far more likely to work in higher paying fields and occupations by choice. Men are often more comfortable, take uncomfortable, isolated, undesirable locations. Men work longer hours. We're more likely to take jobs that have weekend or evening work. And the funny thing is, despite all that stuff, unmarried women who've never had a kid actually earn more than married men, more than unmarried men.
Yep. So here's one thing, and maybe I will come across as a sexist, misogynist pig, and that's okay, I guess, because people already think I'm that. But here's one thing that I've always felt, right? So if you're my wife, right? Let's take you're my wife 4 years ago. You make it known to your employer through your actions, through the things you say, that you definitely want to have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes financial and business sense for that company not to invest as much money into you as it does into somebody, whether it's a man or woman, who's not going to have kids. Well, why? Because once you have kids, there's a good chance you're gone, right? A lot of women talk about going back to work after their kid's 3 months old. A lot of women realize, you know what, staying home with my kids is more rewarding than my job ever could be.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's perfectly business sound to not invest as much money into somebody who you know is going to have kids as it is in somebody who you know is not going to have kids.
I mean, that's Walmart's thinking right there. That's why they usually don't have pregnancy leave at Walmart. And Walmart also has a very, very high turnover rate too. It's easier to fire someone and not spend the money on healthcare, which I don't necessarily agree with, but from a business perspective, I can see where they're coming from. It's much easier to fire the employee than to just have to pay for medical expenses.
You've got more of a problem in the United States with those type of jobs, basically, just with regards to standard of living wage and things like that.
True.
And I think there's a higher sort of issue. I don't know personally. All I understand from the joke. All I understand from the shirt is, just to put it in context, as some people have said, it is basically, they consider it an inappropriate shirt for work. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But a lot of people just said that basically on regards of professionalism, for what they were doing and what they were trying to achieve. That air of professionalism, they thought that would have been inherent in the individual. Stepping aside from that, and then they just stop there. They just basically say, that was all it was. Because fuck me, they've seen. I just can't understand the sort of thinking that just go, oh, it's if this is your thinking, oh, it's a tacky shirt. It's not going to stop a woman from joining the field.
No, it's not.
It honestly is not. If they are that dedicated, if they are interested in science, they can say, I don't find that shirt very professional. That would be a valid criticism. But it is no different from a lot of the sort of, Hawaiian shirts and all that kind of shit. I wouldn't wear those either because I don't like them. But it's like people's, taste. That guy doesn't hate women. If anything, those are supposedly the empowering images, supposedly. That, I could imagine if a feminist or a woman wore that shirt, they wouldn't get all that shit.
Well, no, it would be empowering.
I gotta say, Serge, you've got to try a Hawaiian shirt because those things are comfortable as shit. I actually have one.
Oh, dear God.
I have a Full Metal Alchemist one.
Oh, dear.
I like Hawaiian shirts, but I don't wear them, but I do like them. Yeah, but here's the thing.
They're comfy.
If the only argument was that is unprofessional, right, that is not a work environment shirt, the dude wouldn't have been bullied into apologizing for wearing a shirt that was not appropriate for work, right? Like, if that's the argument, is it was unprofessional, why are you going out of your way to bully this dude into an apology and then claiming your victory when he apologizes? That's not the. I mean, if that's the argument of some of these people, I would imagine those people aren't the loudest voices on why this is the worst shirt ever fucking invented, and it's the embodiment of evil and misogyny.
Oh, there's a quote here from the chat, and I quite like this from Edwin Boyett. How many social justice tweets do you think? I'll correct that. Were made using a device manufactured in some Foxconn-style prison factory?
All of them.
All of them, absolutely every last one.
And Patton, who's in the chat, made a good point earlier. This was a custom shirt, while the "This is what a feminist looks like" shirt is produced in sweatshops around the world.
There was something about that recently. Apparently, the Daily Mail, who published the article, shock forbid, got their information wrong about that sweatshop that was featured in that article. They said that those people were on above minimum wage, basically, actually on a sort of akin to a living wage from where they work. So I know there's a lot of people on each side that are willing to sort of jump to conclusions, but, as I say, we are the more moderate sort of caste, so I think we should be willing to appreciate that sometimes, even our sources get it wrong, and anyone using the Daily Mail at that time has to be skeptical anyway.
Yeah, it's a Daily Mail. Always be skeptical of the Daily Mail.
Who's looking at the shit posting? Was it fucking shit posting publishing of England? To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were talking about how weed kills 1 million people a year not too long ago.
That's awesome.
Sounds like the fucking DEA.
Over there in the UK, you guys have page 3, right? Isn't that topless women thing?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that will disappear at one point.
Yeah, that's not going to stick around for too fucking long.
Page 3 can't go anywhere. That's the greatest thing to ever come out of England.
They've tried to, and again, that's a tacky thing, and my choice is I don't buy that newspaper, not because of the page 3, but just because...
It's a shit newspaper.
Yeah, because of the whole fucking ensemble. I think there's a time and place for tits, but if people want to, if builders want to have a look at it on a fucking Sunday, on a cold morning, feel fucking free. It's that freedom, it's that... It is, and the Sun had a female editor, and look what happened with her, phone hacking. It's and she didn't actually. I don't think was it.
Equality for everyone. Everyone can be cunts now.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm on board with that. Everybody can be a cunt.
So, Anonymous Premium just posted this to Twitter. And it's kind of bringing us back full circle a little bit to Gamergate. It's you guys obviously know Vivian James.
Yep.
Well, they posted a picture of one of the original flags from the Women's Social and Political Union from the UK, and the colors on the flag are white, green, and purple.
Vivian
Yeah.
James. No, but those are the colors of rape.
According to the other side, at least.
Well, yeah.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
Vivian
That,
James, that happened.
No,
That's what Macintosh said.
No, yeah, but has that been verified?
Of course
oh,
it has.
yeah, there was a tweet. No, there was a tweet that he said it. I mean, now I guess somebody
Oh no, he
could have.
said it.
No. Has it been like proven scientifically as you know what
Well, the thing is, it's impossible to tell what the actual reasoning for it was, because some people have theories that it's a certain feminist. Another one is that it was the first game jam that got sabotaged. One of the girls in that had a green and purple sweater on. There's all sorts of theories behind it. It's impossible to fucking prove it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get a role, like a character model from an anonymous image board. It's kind
I
of
was
hard
more
to tell.
talking about like the basis of purple and green being the actual colours to denote rape.
Oh, that's Piccolo Dick.
Yeah.
What? Sorry.
It's
Piccolo
Piccolo,
Dick.
Okay.
like from DBZ.
Oh, right. Okay.
Here's another one. This is someone going full Macintosh, and it's actually John Macintosh going full Macintosh. Legitimately scary that anyone could watch American Psycho and then walk away thinking the film had nothing to do with gender or misogyny.
Okay.
Who in here has seen American Psycho?
Me.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Does it? Because to me, Patrick Bateman is just a hedonist.
Pretty much.
Because then he said, because his follow-up tweet was we have a serious media literacy problem when large portions of the populace are unable to understand the actual text, let alone subtext. And this is my fucking problem with him on shit like this. Who the hell are you to tell us, as normal people, what the fuck the subtext is? Are you the arbiter of subtext on anything?
He's John McIntosh. He understands narratives of narratives. He understands brain stories.
Yeah, he does understand brain stories.
How many male chauvinists does it take to change a light bulb? None. Let her do the dishes in the dark. That's from Mike Palmer in chat.
That one's good. That one's good. Mean, kind of misogynistic. Well, it's not even misogynistic. They've made that word mean nothing, right? When criticizing a woman now equals misogyny, misogyny means nothing. And misogyny, by the book definition, is like a bad thing, right? Like, that's physical violence and shit towards a woman. You know what I mean? Like, that's really bad. But when you equate it to...
complaining.
Huh?
They're always complaining that the media image of feminism is getting worse.
Oh, here's
And
one.
they can't...
Go ahead.
Oh.
No,
Go, I'm joking.
No, Serbs, finish your thought. No, let Serbs
Yeah.
finish his thought.
Well,
Yeah,
this was the whole thing about Emma Watson and, you know, the fucking he for she thing, was that feminism is getting a bad name. That, it's had a bad name. It's about, it's supposed to be about equality for males and females. It's supposed, it's supposed to mean these things and not be a dirty word. And yet it continues to strive to basically alienate people, and polarize the actual position to the point where, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You're damned if you become a feminist because it's pretty fucking, at the moment, it's pretty fucking vile. And you're damned if you don't because you become a misogynist. This is why I have a huge problem still with my friend identifying as a feminist, because the definition of feminism at the moment is so fucking muddied.
It's
by these
bastardized,
people.
isn't it? That's what
It is. It is. But how are campaigns like this going to make you really think that I want to be associated with people who just trounce anything based on feeling?
We have another one here that goes full Macintosh. Seriously, how many games feature mothers as playable characters, even middle-aged women? It's depressingly low number, but very telling. And then his next reply, I'm surprised the game community didn't fucking jump him for this. Just straight up jump him out in the street for this. Because his tweet to follow up that was, Samus doesn't count, so don't even try it.
Well, I mean... Okay.
I know we don't count Mother M, Metroid Other M, but fuck him.
So, we'll get back to your point, Jerry. I want to follow up on Serbs. So, if their problem is feminism's getting a bad rap, they're the ones who are defining what feminism is. If you don't want it to get a bad rap, do what you guys do and redefine feminism. You're very good at redefining every other fucking word in the English language. If you don't like what people are saying about you, change their opinion. Don't fucking stand up and just bitch about it until something changes. It's on you to fucking make the change. I guess that's ultimately what I'm saying.
Even if they did have an issue with the shirt, was that the right way to approach it? In an antagonistic, completely balls to the wall, I'm gonna fucking slate this, without focusing, even just a subtle critique, even if you did have a problem with the shirt and you did think it was sexist, just saying, but it's always this moral fucking outrage. Everything has to be out fucking outrageous, doesn't it?
It does.
The statement has to be like somebody else tweeted out. Someone was talking about somebody who tweeted out to 36,000 people, like a really controversial sort of opinion. Everything at the moment has in our maybe this is just a reflection on the society, but to get noticed now, you just have to say the most fucking reckless things. And I think this is what this is breeding, is just this constant need to fucking one-up each other with the most outrageous fucking statements. Rather than actually focusing on any issues, it's how can I cause offence so quickly, to so many, how can I polarize people so quickly so that I can have an enemy, so that I can have, purpose in fucking having a go at somebody, every day, or I can have purpose in my life to make somebody else's life a misery. And that's what happened to that guy. That guy got fucking jumped. He got cyber mobbed, essentially.
Who was that?
Just the scientist, the guy that wore the shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't you think that we're just fostering this now? It's not. I mean, and we react. It's a two-way street. Then we react. We're immediately on the defensive, or somebody's, and it just. We are creating this fucking passive-aggressive, hostile environment.
No, it's not passive-aggressive. It's just
aggressive.
Well, aggressive in some cases it's passive, some cases it's just blatant. But we're creating this environment which doesn't allow for discussion in the fucking first place. It's you're right or you're wrong, and that's it.
Yep, us versus them.
I know, but I'm kind of tired of that.
Well, I mean, you saw, for those of you who didn't read this, there's a very fascinating report by, I think it's the Fire Institute that I sent Serbs earlier this week. And it showed basically their fucking divide and conquer tactics that basically is almost like indoctrination.
Well, it is indoctrination. As I said, I believe I said this on Wednesday, if not, when Serbs talk to Georgie Tate, not Serbs, Sargon, basically, the whole cult line of thinking, pretty much sealed the deal for me that, yes, he's in a cult. This shit is cult-like.
The problem with Georgie Tate that's come to light is that he might not be all there. That is the problem with Georgie Tate. He's easily discredited on both sides because the guy's got no legs. The guy was in a traumatic fucking incident and he might not have all of his faculties.
Define traumatic incident.
I think he was in some kind of car crash or something from what I've garnered, but I still don't have the full details. And he lost both of his legs and went through some psychological trauma, basically.
So he's the other side's Gary Busey?
Essentially.
So
Jesus, fuck.
I have to read this because this is making me crack up inside. From Michael Palmer. Q, why did God invent the yeast infection? Answer, so women know what it's like to live with an irritating cunt.
Oh.
That one's really good.
But speaking of J-Mac, as I was earlier, we actually do have a winner.
We do have a winner.
We do have a winner of our Write a Dating Profile contest, and that's Mike Palmer in the chat. He's actually won it, and for for one, the thing that won it for me was not just the actual entry, but it was the fact that you actually photoshopped several things into the picture.
Well,
Can we show it on the stream? Or?
We can totally show it on the stream.
I'm working on getting it up.
Okay.
I'm sure you are. Heyo.
Heyo. Heyo.
Just my God, it was just too good. It was genuinely too good. But should I go ahead and read it?
Sure.
The profiles for John McIntosh, or J Big Mac as I also call him. His self-summary is: I'm an asshole who talks so much shit. My lips get hemorrhoids, and my slave Anita gives me a good pegging because I need to itch the lining of my colon. I'm not sexist, but I believe another meaning for a woman is finger puppet.
There you go. It is on screen.
Mike Palmer, you are the winner of either $25 worth of Steam Cash or $25 worth of Riot points. Get in contact with a code, and he'll get you your stuff.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I love that he put this on OkCupid.
Yeah, he used the actual OkCupid background.
Yeah, that he actually put effort into this. Filth
It has the nice
Sandman.
red baboon's ass.
I like how it's like, was it race, white, height, 5'10", body type, a little extra.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, this is wonderful.
Brilliant.
This is wonderful.
But congratulations, Michael. You get that. You get the $25 worth of Steam Cash or Riot points.
Yes, you certainly do. I am not sexist. I love this. I am not sexist, but another meaning for a woman is finger puppet.
That was just fucking good.
That so captures John McIntosh.
But oh my God, I don't think Riot did. Riot knows not to shoot themselves in the foot.
I don't think. But Riot come out and say, or Patton's asking, didn't Riot just come out as anti-GG? And I don't think
they did.
I'm sure they have employees who are anti-GG, though.
They probably do, because Riot has a good many employees, but
sorry, who's Riot again? I can't remember.
Riot made League of Legends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, get with the times.
Sorry, dude, I don't play League, so.
I played League of Legends in beta, and it was meh.
Beta, not beta.
Beta.
But who was the reporter from Kotaku that asked about the sexualization of all the characters in League of Legends, and basically Riot shut him down about it?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It was probably Nathan Grayson. Yeah. Now that I think about it.
I think it was Nathan Grayson.
And
because he asked a very leading question.
Riot was basically like, and we design characters that we like, that our character players like. We have plenty of women. Some are dressed to the nine, some are not dressed so much. We have plenty of men. Some are dressed to the nine, some are not dressed so much. Your point is...
That actually happened in Rock Paper Shotgun. I don't know who wrote it, but it wasn't League of Legends. There was another one. It wasn't League of Legends. It was
Dota, wasn't it?
No, it was StarCraft: Heart of the Swarm, and someone said like that. Oh, don't you think that the Kerrigan's design's a bit sexist? And the guy who writes for, is it Chris Metzen? I think he does all the writing for that. His literal response to this guy's like huge tirade on like how it's sexist and stuff was, cool. And then that was it. That was the interview ended. That's why it ended.
I do remember reading that, and that was like the best like answer ever. Like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, you do, and Edwin Boyette's right. You do have to wonder about Grayson's objective taste, because he voluntarily engaged in coitus with Zoe Quinn more than once.
I know, right? That just would make me lose respect for anyone, even if I didn't think they were a cunt before.
Well, Grayson is a cunt. He's a twat, so.
He's gone full twat.
So
Hashtag full twat.
I do have a question I've been meaning to ask you guys. Who is your favorite video game character?
That's a very broad question.
Honest to God, this is why I think I took so much offense at Jonathan McIntosh's comment, because I think my favorite one, whenever someone asks me that, is Samus Aran from Metroid.
Serbs, who is your favorite video game character?
That's a bit nebulous for me. You'll have to get back to me.
I need an answer.
Oh, well, that's just... I wasn't expecting it.
Well, who's the first person that pops in your mind when he said that favorite video game character?
Okay, it was literally, they all came at a blur. But I'd have to say, what was their name? Fuck it. Sarah Palmer from Halo 4. I think that's her name, is that correct?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I need to replay Halo 4.
The Spartan from Female Spartan.
Yep, okay. So, Pigeon.
It's really hard.
That's what she said. Wait.
Ooh.
Only the classist jokes on our stream.
No, she said, please get off of me. And, yeah. Then she fell asleep, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. It would probably, off the top of my head, I guess. Oh fuck, what's his name from?
If you say Steve from what?
From Deus Ex.
Adam Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen.
Adam
yeah.
Baldwin. What?
Totally. I mean, you could say that because he has been in a lot of video game roles.
He has. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm torn. I'm gonna actually give two because I think they're both two of my favorite.
Actually, Corvo from Dishonored, I think, was pretty cool.
Corvo was a pretty cool guy.
So my favorite video game character is literally a toss-up between Pain from Final Fantasy X-2 and Fang from Final Fantasy 13. But here's what's funny. They say we're these sexist pigs and women are not really they are underrepresented and represented poorly in video games. 3 out of the 4 of us here have named a woman character as our favorite video game characters.
Ellen Ripley was really good in Alien Isolation as well.
Yeah, Amanda not so much, but well, she was kind of flatly written.
Well, oh no, sorry, Amanda Ripley. Well, no, I thought she was okay.
No, there was a criticism about her, and it's quite funny because the writer of that was Dan Abnett, who's one of my favourite authors. Although he hasn't really, I don't know whether it's him or whether the final designs of the games and stuff like that, but every time he's tried to write something like television and video gaming, it's always been a bit shit. He's always like gone into like stereotypical tropes and things like that. And I hate that word tropes as well.
I don't think Amanda Ripley had any of those tropes.
It's just generic kind of strong female character.
Yeah. By the way,
token because she didn't seem token.
Just to completely go off topic, I've just been playing, and I'm still playing Advanced Warfare. I think that's right. At the moment, and it got to a point where the enemy was 70. You need 75 kills for 75 points or kills for the round to end, and this team was 75 points up, and we were 41 down. Everyone on the opposition team all got out snipers and started doing the 360 no-scope jumping bullshit, and it was hilarious. So all sides were doing that, trying to kill each other. It got to 74 kills each, and then one guy just stopped and just shot someone.
Oh.
And it was just like, that's really sad. Because everybody was just fucking trying to do that 360 no-scope bullshit. Oh, and the railgun pistol is fucking awesome.
It is.
I just have to put that out.
Well,
Okay.
I've actually been playing Warlords of, I'm going to butcher the name, Draenor, however you pronounce it.
Draenor.
I told you I was going to butcher it. And believe it or not, I'm only level 94, so I'm not too far into it, but I absolutely fucking love it. And I think garrisons are like the greatest thing to come to WoW in a long, long time. Like
Did you hear about the controversy about the WoW subreddit?
No, what about it?
What happened?
One of the moderators got really butthurt because he can't play the game because like there's all the queues and disconnections and shit. So he's made the subreddit private until they fix it.
Wow. The WoW subreddit is now private until they fix the fucking login issues.
Yep.
There's nothing to fix.
Isn't
The thing is, there's nothing to fix. So their subs were probably down to maybe 5.5 million, 6 million, maybe even a little lower. But with every expansion, everybody and their mother comes back to WoW for a little bit of time to check it out, right? That's just the way it goes. There's nothing to fix. It's their servers are being overloaded. If there was anything they could have did to increase server load in the past 11 years, they probably already done it. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably been done. So deal with the fucking queue and get over it. That's my response.
Well, because the problem he was having was every time he would log on to the queue, he would disconnect. And when he actually got up to his spot in the queue.
No, he's just being a fucking baby.
Yeah.
All right, that's another interesting sort of conversation. I've never really got into MMOs. You know, I think the only game that I tried to attempt was RF Online, which then became free to play afterwards. I did have a subscription to it. It was like a couple of years ago, but I've never really found an RPG that I could get into. I tried or an MMORPG. I tried the Matrix Online, which was a massive abortion, and I have my own funny stories from that as well. But it seems that World of Warcraft is just like the only sort of option, really.
Oh God, no.
There's quite a few others. And speaking from my own experience, I really got into Terra, which is
It's sexist.
okay.
It makes you a fucking misogynist. Sorry.
Yes, it does, because the high elves are all like 6.5 feet. Like the women are all like 6.5 feet tall with gigantic D-cup breasts, and there's lollies in it, but there's an entire race of them. But versus WoW, it's all skill-based shooting rather than just dice rolling for attacks. I got into Firefall as well, which is a first-person MMORPG, or like a first-person shooter MMORPG. And it's free to play as well. I tried getting into Neverwinter, the D&D MMO, and just couldn't do it. I've tried a couple of others, I think. I tried WoW back in the day after the first expansion came out, and just couldn't get into it.
See,
I gave up with WoW on the Kung Fu Panda Online expansion. I gave up before then, but when I saw there was a Kung Fu Panda Online expansion, I was like, fuck you, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Oh, it's
See, I
not
like-
that bad. They're just pandas.
And I haven't given a chance to Wakfu yet, because everybody says Wakfu is amazing.
See, I was just saying, I did like RF Online because it was a Korean, I think it was a Korean game.
I loved RF Online.
Oh, did you play it as well?
Yes.
I just found that I found that it was very hard to break into the game at such a late state in its like evolution and community aspects.
I played right at the beginning, during beta actually, and I loved it. So,
I love that.
Did you enjoy Skyrim or Morrowind?
I did.
I never played any of the Elder Scrolls games at all.
Because there is Elder
Really?
Scroll Online, which actually has gotten pretty good.
They're not my type of. If I was going to play an MMO, it would have to be something like RF Online. It would have to be kind of sci-fi. I mean, I've looked at Phantasy Star, but
Phantasy Star is good. I didn't play it online, but Phantasy Star is pretty good. If you want a more sci-fi, you can give a shot to Warframe, which is free to play on Steam as well.
That's really cool.
I do kind of want a third-person kind of RPG, but I want a kind of one which. I mean, RF Online would have been great, but the community at that stage was so like in its cliques at the time that it was very hard to break into. And I'd have loved to have seen something like that where it was actually quite helpful to the beginner coming in. And it doesn't seem like you have to be there since the beta. You have to be,
Or at least it's release, yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about. Well, that's the great thing about this WoW expansion is you don't have to be, right? When you buy the expansion, you get a free level 90 character. And they start you off with not the best gear in the world, but enough gear that you can start questing at level 90 to work your way up to level 100. I mean,
Oh, okay. So I thought there was a level cap of 85, wasn't there originally? Was
yeah,
that correct?
Now the first cap was like 60.
was
Yeah, the
65.
first cap was 60, then it was 70, then it was 80, then it was 85, and now it's 100.
Wasn't the
Hmm.
first cap 65?
No, it
I
was
think
70.
it was 70. My mistake.
No, the
It
first
was
cap
70,
was
yeah.
60. No, the first cap was 60 because that's when you got your
Yeah,
epic
yeah,
mount.
I'm saying the first expansion was 70, yeah.
Yes, and then
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and then it was 70, and then 85, and then 95. No, 90.
No, it was
90.
80, then 85, then 90, yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
you play the fucking free-to-play version, which is like 20.
it's 20. But now it's level 90, which was the level cap at the mist at the end of Mists. So now if you start, you get a free level 90. So you don't have to work your way up 100 levels. You only have to work your way up 10 levels.
But have you missed out on like community, like big sort of events and things like that?
I think personally for me, I think WoW's kind of past its heyday. Like for me, the best time of WoW was like Burning Crusade vanilla. I felt like the community was a lot more not welcoming, but you felt like you're actually in a community. It was like you used to go to like one of the two main kind of like hub capitals of the world, which would probably be like Orgrimmar and what was it, Orgrimmar and Ironforge, and there'd be everyone and their mothers there. Whereas now it's like everyone's scattered about. There's so many new zones, like there's people everywhere, and it's a lot harder. Like beforehand, I remember back in Vanilla WoW, Ironforge was known as Lagforge because everyone was standing outside the mailbox and all of their mounts and everything, and I quite enjoyed that, like despite the horrific lag. You just felt like, at least to me, it used to feel like more of a world. And even though, in terms of, it was a real pain in the ass, the fact that you had to like manually look for people meant that you made friends, like when you were doing dungeons and things. Whereas now, that isn't the case. So I don't know. Like, I personally, I thought WoW was kind of in its heyday a long time ago.
Well, it depends on what you want out of WoW. So for somebody
Yeah, I
like
like the kind of social thing.
So I look at it from somebody from my standpoint, right? I'm 30, almost 32 years old. I'm married. I have two kids. That whole have to find a party, have to pug, right? Or have to be in a raid, that's like, at that point, if you were in a guild that raided, it was pretty hardcore, right? It was multiple times a week
Oh yeah,
for
very.
2-3 hours at a
It was
time.
a job. It was a job. Yeah.
I can't do that, right? So for me, I have my guild I'm in. We're very casual, and because of things like Dungeon Finder and Raid Finder, it allows me to play, right? I can jump on at 11 o'clock at night, jump into looking for raid, and be out as a tank and be out in an hour, right? And I can have my loot, and I'm a filthy casual now when it comes to MMOs. And for me, WoW is absolutely fucking brilliant because I can progress, I can get everything I want, I can partake in every event and everything with minimal time spent.
How do you feel about Guild Wars then, or Guild Wars 2 at least?
I had a real hard time getting into Guild Wars 2. A real hard time.
Yeah, I got it. I got to like level 20 or something. I know. I just think MMOs in general, it takes something very special to kind of get me hooked on one.
I quite liked in Japan when they started doing RPGs that simulated online. So that was an interesting sort of concept because it was single player, but you had like these characters that were established. Sword Art Online is currently doing that, but it originally started with .hack. The only problem, obviously, was the writing and the characters were a bit meh.
I still think
but
SAO is a bit meh.
I think most people do, to be honest.
Honestly,
but I like
I'd
the
say that
concept
about
of
WoW.
those. I do like the concept of those type of games, though, where they try to emulate the aspects of on MMOs in a single player environment. But what was the? There was something I was just.
So
gonna
do you
follow up
own are you a Sony guy or a Microsoft guy, Serbs?
Me, I own both a PS3 and an Xbox 360. So
There is also
Um,
I did not enjoy playing it on the PS3 as much as I do on the PS4, but Final Fantasy 14 um,
now,
is
now
very,
shall I
very
tell you
good.
something? Shall I tell you something about this? Right.
Sure.
But Final Fantasy. I get suckered in by the box art. I start playing them. I get bored. Like I own quite a few Final Fantasies where I might have played about 2 hours at max and never gone any further because I got bored of the characters or got bored of the plot.
That's the problem with
Um,
JRPGs, though, is you need to give them like a good 10 hours for the
I
story
don't
to hook
I
you
don't
in.
have that commitment. Yeah, I mean, I say that. I mean, I guess I've gone into instant gratification because I've got more than enough time to jump in to play Modern Warfare collectively, probably for like 50 hours at each game or something. Mate, well, I don't know. There's ones where I've played more than that. But the idea of originally investing 10 hours in a single player campaign is
Until it gets good, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a bit weird. I don't see that sort of concept. You kind of want some instant gratification for that money that you shelled out for an RPG. At
See,
least that's what I.
yeah, me, I'm different. I like RPGs. WoW makes it hard for me to keep up. Now that I'm back at WoW, it's gonna make it hard to keep up on my RPGs. But I especially love like Vita RPGs for like my Vita or my iPad, because then I can like lay in bed, for 2 hours a night and progress the story. I like that. Maybe I would be maybe I would make a good social justice warrior because I like visual novels like JRPGs are.
No, it doesn't make you an SJW. It just means you
I know.
have certain tastes.
I know. I was being
But
a
even that,
facetious douche.
Depression Quest wasn't even a visual novel.
It wasn't even a fucking novel.
I mean, going back to kind of JRPG type elements. I mean, one of my favorite games I played on the PS3 was Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, that was really good.
Oh,
And
that
it's
was
got-
a brilliant fucking game. Brilliant.
Yep. And I played the sequel on the PSP. I didn't get on much with the controls, but the story was great. And they never translated 3, which was very sad.
I loved Valkyria
there are-
Chronicles.
Yeah, me too. Again, suffered on getting the DLC because the PS network was poop. So
Was poop, it's still poop.
It's still poop, yeah.
But
I mean, I paid.
Go ahead.
Oh, there you go. I pay for Xbox Live, and I know what I'm getting with Xbox Live. It's just slightly more reliable.
Yeah, which is true. That is a valid criticism of PlayStation Network. It's that it's less reliable than Xbox Live. But I do like a lot of what PlayStation Plus does for the PlayStation Network. A little bit more.
So if you are serious about looking into a MMO you might enjoy, I saw somebody mention in chat, and I heard Jerry mention it briefly. I really enjoyed Doofus, and they say Wakefu, however you pronounce it, is even better. I personally had a hard time getting into it, but they're like it's a Flash MMO, so it's isometric, 2D isometric, and the battles are a lot like Final Fantasy Tactics or Disgaea, so they're turn-based strategy.
So it's basically like Final Fantasy Tactics. Is that a fair criticism?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Tactics is good. I can't remember why, but I got annoyed at the controls, or I think it was to do with my analog sticks at the time for the PSP were a bit shit. So, that's annoying. There are a lot of games on PSP that I wish hadn't just made it onto the PS3.
The PSP was
Got it.
amazing. The Sony, actually all of Sony handhelds are amazing for RPGs. Nintendo's even better.
Yeah.
But for some reason, JRPGs have found their way to handhelds. And I haven't figured out why.
Fire Emblem did really, really good on 3DS.
I can't get that same level of immersion though, playing something on the go. If I'm going to have it, I'm going to usually sit at home and play it instead of booting up a console. On the go, you miss too much stuff.
True.
So I don't get why the Japanese like that type. I know they love their mobile gaming, but that kind of game doesn't really lend itself to that kind of thing, I imagine.
The thing is, though, for like my Vita, I don't really play my Vita on the go, right? I can play it while I'm laying up in bed. My wife can be watching TV and I can play the Vita. right? Or when I'm down at the lake house and we're out on the boat, right? I can have my Vita with me as long as it's not a game I need internet connection for, right? And I can play sitting in the sun on my Vita or sitting out by the campfire, right? So it's not really so much on the go where it's I can only play for 5 minutes on a train to work. It's more I don't need to be locked behind it or stuck behind a TV to play a video game.
But that is Japan, though. That is, you know, Japan's constantly on the go. So, I mean, you're buying a handheld usually to use on like the tube or you know, on the fucking train. You're buying it for mobile gaming, essentially.
Yeah. Edwin's specifically JRPG, like Jason told you, is a Japanese RPG, but Japanese and Western RPGs actually do differ just based on the way the stories are told. Because a Western RPG will have basically a nameless, faceless protagonist that you're supposed to fill in, like you are supposed to be the protagonist, while in a JRPG you're basically playing as an established character.
Yeah, but the mechanics are also vastly different, right? At least the way the industry has worked out. WRPG or Western RPG would be something like Skyrim, is a Fallout, right? Great examples of Western